Hi friends, welcome back to Handmade. I'm Danielle. Well, it is officially the happiest time of year. Yes, that's right. It is cozy sweater season, my favorite time of year. One thing that I'm really noticing a lot of this year are very texturized, almost like knitted pumpkins, and I love them, but they come with a very heavy price tag. And the more I look at them, the more I think I can make that. So I did a little research and I found a few examples on the internet of DIY sweater pumpkins. They have the exact same look as something you would find in the store, but you make them by upcycling an old sweater. And this year when I was cleaning out my stash, I looked for sweaters that maybe shrank a little bit, no longer fit very well with this project in mind. To make these DIY sweater pumpkins, cable knit or really chunky sweaters are what's gonna work best because you're gonna get that really nice texture. I'm gonna show you how you can get 5 pumpkins out of one old sweater. Let's get started. As I mentioned, I'm going to make 5 pumpkins out of this one sweater, 4 small pumpkins out of the sleeves, and 1 big pumpkin out of the body. Start by cutting the sleeves off of your sweater around the armpit area, and then cut those long pieces in half. Next, we're going to cut out the body of the sweater. Again, cut this just a little below where your arms would go through. Okay, now it's time to start forming the pumpkin shape. Start by turning your sweater pieces inside out. To make, I guess what you would call a seam, we're going to tie these off by using twine. I'm trying to make this project as no-sew as possible, but we'll get back to that later. Bundle up the raw edge of your sweater piece and then double knot with twine. Now, turn your sweater piece right side out and fill with stuffing. I'm using a fiberfill. You can find that at any craft store or easily online. We're going to stuff until it looks and feels very full. Leave yourself about 1.5 inches at the top. This is going to be the stem. So we're going to gather at the top again and then double knot with twine to secure. Remember to pull tight. Now we have a shape that looks like a very cute pumpkin. To make the stem, the first thing I'm going to do is cut a little bit of the bulk out. This will make it so that it's wider on the bottom and skinnier on top. Twine is the perfect material for creating what will look like a stem. All we have to do here is, again, secure the twine by double knotting at the bottom, and then we're going to carefully wrap the twine around the stem. You want to make sure that when you're wrapping this around, you're pulling tight as you go. To get the prettiest pumpkin, it's important that the twine looks clean. When you're almost to the top, carefully snip off a little bit so that you have a flat base. Now, trim up your twine so that there's just a little excess left. Then we're going to add just a little dot of hot glue. With the rest of the twine, coil it around the top of your base until the sweater is no longer showing. You want to try and make sure your sweater is fully covered. Okay, so you could totally stop right here and this would be an adorable pumpkin. I would recommend putting beans or something in the bottom of your sweater piece before you add the stuffing to weight it down, because as it is now, it doesn't really sit up on its own very well. Now we're getting to the step where we will need a needle and thread, but this is so easy you can hardly consider it sewing. When you are choosing your thread color, try and pick something with low contrast to your sweater color. You are going to see the thread here. I really want to make this kind of like a princess pumpkin shape. Those are my favorite. So what I'm going to do is section this pumpkin off in 4 parts. To get started, we are going to tie off a double knot at the bottom of the pumpkin to secure. Next, bring the thread up and then push it under the stem. Push it all the way towards the bottom of the pumpkin. It would be a lot easier if you had a thimble here. Chances are I will probably stick myself a little bit, so if you have a thimble, save yourself. Once you've got a hold of the other end of the embroidery needle, pull very tight and pull it until you like the shape that you can see it forming. When you like the tightness of your thread, then tie it off. Continue to do this the same way 3 more times on each side. Okay, and that does it. When you have all 4 sections, you can then shape up your pumpkin. I like to move the stuffing around, maybe play with the thread a little bit. You can also adjust your stem. I like to make mine so it's curved a little bit at the top. Now I'm going to show you how to make the big pumpkin. It's basically the exact same way as the small pumpkin, you just have a little bit more fabric to wrangle, but it's still very easy, I promise. So again, flip your fabric inside out, tie off at the bottom, flip the fabric right side out, add your stuffing, and here it's very important that you even maybe add a little bit more stuffing than you think you need. To make these bigger pumpkins look very full, they take quite a bit more stuffing. Again, make sure to leave yourself about 1.5 inches at the top. The part where the sweater gets a little hard to manage is when you're tying off the stem. I like to move all the stuffing to the center and then almost create pleats toward the top. And then when your stem is formed, again, give it a double knot with twine. Now, like before, we're going to cut almost a triangle shape towards the top of the stem. So with these larger sweaters, you're definitely going to have a wider stem. Again, just wind the twine around the stem, add a dab of hot glue and coil it off at the end. It's looking so cute. Let's finish it off by giving it shape. Just as before, secure the thread at the bottom and then pull it up and over 4 times to create the sections. And now that that's done, let's clean it up a little bit. This pumpkin is adorable and I love this color. As promised, one sweater really does make 5 pumpkins. Okay, well, I have so many pumpkins, I can barely hold them all, and I have to say, I think they are very adorable and they will last you through Thanksgiving. I think these sweater pumpkins would be a great centerpiece, and I just love how cozy they look. Have you ever upcycled anything from a sweater or an old t-shirt? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this project. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye!